He's on the commissioners.
You're gonna be at our 1:30 for this petition. I am. By the way, this is
Senior front. So, covering that.
December 4th. All right. Hey, Lee Trevino here. We're in session now.
He's my favorite golfer.
All right. It is Thursday, September 15th, 2022. Man, we're already halfway through September. We are joined by a lot of people this morning, but I'm Commissioner Vero. We have Commissioner Banks and Mears, Craig with WMFD, our clerk Stacy Crawl, the man, the myth, the legend, Charles Hahn and Jessica Dooley with the Richland County Development Group Holiday Lights Committee, not the Holiday Pops. Don't get them confused. And we have a major upgrade from the Richland source today in terms of intelligence and friendliness and looks, and Katie over Carl. So we're very happy to see you over Carl. And then, of course, we're joined by our county administrator, Andrew Keller. So a lot of people here today. We're here to discuss holiday lights. And, you know, Jessica's been all over it. I think she reached out to me in 2020 about the lights in 2022. So take it away.
Be glad to do that. In front of you is a photo from 2015 that shows the extent of the lights, and it was basically just the gazebo.
I do not have any.
No, it's right, the picture
Okay.
in front of you.
Okay.
So since then, expanded the Christmas lights to all of the square. In addition to the city building, lit up green tree, and looking to do more of that this year for Christmas, expanding into a celebration on New Year's Eve. And here's again some photos from a couple of previous years. The city building was this.
And the city also does that giant tree on their own building. That's pretty costly as well.
The one that's
Yeah, that's pretty costly. It looks great when they do it. So I'm not saying that in a negative sense. It looks great.
See that on the 2020 budget, that's a 15 cost the city absorbs.
So also in the handouts I provided to you, the 2020 downtowns, like this is like the budget we had or the funds that we spent 2 years ago. 4,000, just under $5,000. You'll see the reference has got Trump Power. He's the one that provides the trees that are on poles, light poles.
Yep.
So that he does that as a vendor. He does not working through our committee. So the city, that's what they paid, outside vendor.
We made some of our own last year, maintenance, and they look pretty comparable.
And then you see the gazebo at Fourth and Main. There was Pacific Impressions, a landscaper that we use. We added that last year, and that was paid for from our committee, the funds that we've raised. And you look at the next page, 2021, there's significantly higher costs because of the traditional reefs that go up on all the light poles. I don't know how old they were, 30 years old or so. So a number of them need replaced. They were actually stripped down, sent back to the manufacturer. They were all rehabbed and came back in great shape, but that was almost $10,000 expense that was raised from private donors and mostly through the October giving through the Richland County Foundation.
Who did the work?
A firm in wherever they were originally purchased from, in Minnesota or
Bonner's the name of the vendor.
It's Michigan, isn't it?
Michigan.
Honors is in
It's Michigan, isn't it?
Michigan, yeah.
It's a huge
It's the
Christmas
largest
store, yeah.
Christmas store in the world.
So we'll be talking about those Christmas wreaths in the future because we're going to need when Main Street is done, we're going to need brand new wreaths for all that work. But that's in the future. So you see in the next page.
You're gonna need brand new wreaths, so the ones that
Well, the ones we have now are still going to be used, but we're going to need new wreaths for Main Street.
The, if
Which
you,
is not these wreaths here that were, okay.
right, and if you've ever.
I want to make sure you
uh,
were saying we spent $9,700 and then we're going to replace them with something else.
No,
Okay.
No, they're, part of Main Street has wreaths on it. If you've ever noticed, not all of the streetlights are uniformed. So when they redo Main Street, we have already talked to the city engineer and Jody Perry about purchasing wreaths that will go with the lighting when they are installed.
so for this year, the last page there, the budget we're looking at is the five-way light. That's where the lights start at. I think we've all seen that last few years.
Way down by Marion down there?
The five-way light.
Okay.
Gene Eric's property, he allows us to put lights on there.
Okay.
Well, that's on the vacant lot there.
Vacant lot.
Yeah, that's Gene's property.
And then as you're moving towards the downtown, this will be a new light display at the city lot or the lot across from the church.
Correct. It's the Lutheran Church downtown. It's Park Avenue West and South Mulberry. We can use electricity from the light there, and we
Church electricity.
No, from the traffic light.
there's a traffic light there, and I spoke to the church, and they have given us permission, and they're excited about the opportunity to put a new installation there.
And then the committee is the gazebo on the square. We're looking at a little bit larger tree, a live tree to go in there. The one last year was the wind kind of tilted it most of the season, but so we're covering that, the committee is. And then you see the last item there. So this is for New Year's Eve, the fireworks. Last year it was $10,000, and I'm not sure if we've got it, if everybody here in the room saw that, but
They were great.
it was pretty outstanding. And that cost, $10,000, was from private funds. The planning on that came together in about 2 weeks. And Rick Taylor, there's a video going now of the fireworks, but Rick Taylor had that ball designed and built that came down from the bank building. You couldn't count it down 10, 9, 8 because it was too slow. So you
Yeah, the count was a little off, but it was the
About
first
2 minutes.
time, so.
We're
and
working on it.
yeah, so that will happen again this year, and the fireworks will too. But that's what we're here for today.
Wants to light them off, though.
Yeah, can I do that?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the same expenditure last year as this year, right?
Well, it's
It's the same.
I would think it may have, with everything being a little bit higher this year, it could be 10 to 12,000. So we're asking, that's what we're here for, is to ask for the county for $5,000 to help fund the fireworks.
But last year it was all private doing
It was all private dollars. All right, and and then we're asking the city to come up with the other 5.
it. Okay.
I don't have that commitment writing yet, but
So how do you come up with the 50-50 split? If it's smack dab in the city of Mansfield, I'm not saying we shouldn't partner. Is this just, hey, let's
Yes,
have this
there's-
be in the county?
Kennedy is that I took the number and divided it by.
Yes, and if you can see on the footage here from the station, you can actually see
Last year?
this is last year's, and you can see the city building in the footage as well as the county building.
Well, I jokingly said to my WMFD friends, it was rocking Mansfield Eve, and then they had the Ashland mayor in the whole picture the whole time. So I've been razzing them a lot of times over there, Mr. Kale.
Let me get back to answer that question about the 2 entities. The announcers on this video last year referenced that they thanked the county and the city for the New Year's or the fireworks display. And, I felt like, well, maybe we need to let them know that. So that's what we're looking for is
So Andrew, legally speaking, so there's our evil mastermind back there, the brilliant one. Is the county able to, under the Ohio Revised Code, contribute to such a project?
County's power to expend money is dictated by the Ohio Revised Code. So
Right.
that's something we would need to look at.
That's the first thing we need to look at is if we can legally do it. I would imagine we probably could in some capacity, but
Guys don't have home rule.
We don't have, that's right. We don't have home rules. We just can't give money.
Guys,
Is there any kind of,
how limited we really are.
is there any kind of liability issue? Because I know with fireworks, there's a risk
Sure,
there,
we
but
pay for it.
are we subject to any liability if something happens? County, if we contributed to a fireworks display and somebody was injured?
That'd be a risk question.
Bigger.
Help with.
Good for the downtown vendors, food trucks.
Is there any sense for how many people viewed these? How many people came to Mansfield?
You know, it's hard. It was mostly a day-long thing. Dan's Lou's restaurant was open, I think, at noon for the football games. And I would say thousands during the day. There was a
Out of town.
crowd there when
I don't know.
there was a big crowd when the fireworks went off. And the city actually, you know, with the expense they had for the fire department and the police that were there, the crowd, you know, they had the hands full, keeping them back from being in the square.
So there's expense on the city side for,
Right, which they covered. And keep in mind, these are not 4th of July fireworks. You know, they don't go up 600 feet, 700 feet and blow up and go. They're smaller. They went above the tree line in the square. So it's
It chased the birds away for a little bit.
well, it did, and hopefully they don't.
it's a good thing.
Because that was a problem the whole season, and it affected the number of people that I think came down, because we can judge that by the photo contest that we sponsored. We had less photos taken, and so
There is a crow committee and they're being a lot more proactive.
people would not want to walk into the square and take pictures when there was all the litter
Where are they shot from?
right there in the middle of the square, like right at underneath the flagpole.
That's where they ignited them?
Andrew, should we and I'm not saying this is an indication of yay or nay, but I mean, we have some leeway in partnering with other municipalities, right? Maybe partner with Mansfield and pay for a portion of a certain government service, right? I mean, there's ways that if we choose to do this, we might be able to do this, right?
We can look at, you know, depending on Mansfield, the city of Mansfield's legal role in the fireworks, there might be an avenue there.
What is, you're talking about, you're asking us for half of 13,800.
Half of the 10, I'm sorry, half of the 10.
And that's it, not,
Yeah, because we're still going to be raising money through our committee, through Richland Gives. You know, that averages out $3,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 that comes in. But we can use that for additional lighting or any other issues that come up. For instance, if we need to pay for some type of liability waiver, we didn't do that last year, but not that I'm aware of. So
your total ask is 5,000.
Well, I think we let Andrew research this and find out what we can do and then decide.
I love fireworks. I think it'd be a great thing, particularly since it was done last year. I think people are going to expect it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
now that's and I heard
More people, right?
I didn't see him, but I heard the mayor of Ashland was over here. No, that's what I hear. So
Craig is gonna pay for that.
they're going to copycat off of what we're.
On the screen, Mansfield Rockin' Eve, and then there's the mayor of Ashland in the center of the screen the whole time. I'm going, wait a minute.
Because they don't have anything as cool.
But
Right?
yeah, you know, this isn't anything uncommon in the world and in this country with governments help pay for celebrations that bring in money to restaurants. I mean, you're right, it was packed. We expect it to grow. So the income, I mean, city's probably gonna, but it doesn't matter. We're all government. So I mean, it's a benefit to our local vendors. It's a great event. It puts our community in a spotlight. And for $5,000, it's something that, presuming we can legally do it, I'd be supportive of.
I sure would too.
I have to keep in mind that we do have inflation. I know there's none in Washington DC. I've heard them say that.
Yeah.
We do have it here in Richland County. We need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get tough next year.
Already tough.
Yeah.
Basically, you're doing the lights on your own without county.
Well, we're doing
You're asking for the fireworks, not for
I
anybody.
think the county has their own, but I think that was
We made our own lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$600 and some last year. And while you bring that up, you may want to think about maybe adding a couple more trees
Had a couple more trees.
down on the other what would that be? The
How he gets in, he starts small.
southeast?
Pretty soon he's gonna want a wreath hanging from every pier and, holograms and, parachuters, from the top of the building.
Your front lot is part of the
Yeah.
live feed, so you can see it.
So there's the county already and the city's paying for a lot of the work on the square and on their building. And then whatever else we need to do is being funded through private donations. So again, it's an
Yes.
example of,
Private partnership too, so.
and we're just looking, you just want to continue to grow it. So it's a thought that these are the same lights that are out of Kingwood Center here, the same individual that provides. So we're looking at how do we light up the whole Park Avenue West?
Cliff wants to light off the fireworks though, he said,
Yeah,
with just a match.
I'd be glad to work with the city on this.
Yeah.
Do some creative, funding.
So the Imagination District is coming on board for this year. We'll have more lights there. So just connecting the square with as far out as we can move it out to Park Avenue West. It's going to take getting some property owners involved and
Well, Cliff, you're the Mansfield guy. You want to work with Andrew on,
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to do this.
okay.
put a Santa Claus suit on.
You might have to wear a Santa Claus suit.
By the way, I am Santa Claus carousel every year for the last several years. I have
Sure.
stuff.
Too late now. You just-
Are you saying you'd wear one at Mansfield Rockin' Eve then? Santa Claus suit?
Yeah, I got the suit.
Well, although Christmas will be over, but.
All right.
Okay, any questions from, Ashland Rockin' Eve over there?
If you guys could state your names for me and your titles, so I have those for them.
Chuck Hahn with Cleveland Financial Group.
Okay,
Jessica Dooley, Chair of the RCDG Holiday Lights Committee.
spell your last name.
DULLE.
Ms. Ellington Sorrow, do you have any questions?
You mentioned a handout that they had with some.
Yeah, it's just a budget number. Here, I've got another one.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Bet.
Al?
This is gonna be one of these days, my fingers don't work right. I don't have any questions other than if somebody could send me a copy of that handout too.
Well, that's actually a question though.
Yeah, it is a question.
We'll get it to you, Al.
No, you attorneys.
All right, Charles. Oh,
Question from the county. Can you just kind of wrap it up in a nutshell for me as far as Corsa or what you need to take under advisement to figure out if you can make this contribution?
back there.
Or I can talk to him in the hallway.
He's our legal representation.
I think you both are coming out here. I think this is a great thing to celebrate where we are and what we do and where
We'll be
we
here before you know it.
And Cleveland Financial's promised 100% match of the county and the city, right? Or at least
We already did more than that.
We did that last. Thank you very much.
on top of that, then.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
Suggestion for you guys out here too.
He makes an amazing.
Yeah.
Now he's making suggestions.
Well, yeah, and he got all cleaned up.
I know, look at him. I mean, he hits one good golf shot and he's a new man over
Oh,
there.
you called me Tiger Woods on a live
Oh,
feed,
yeah.
so I thought.
Oh, that was,
No, Lee Trevino, you ain't good enough to be Tiger. How about Tom Kite? You want to be Tom Kite?
Hey, Tom Kite, he,
Everyone loved Tom Kite.
you know, the best story of Lee Trevino was when he was out mowing his yard.
oh, I've heard this story.
How much dollar wise?
Woman pulled up and says,
How much light?
they didn't have to pay you to live here? Oh, she lets
Okay.
for her own house.
All right, let's move on to logistical items. I don't think we need an amendment for this. Stacy, you just spelled dialogue on the page 4 there. It's DIA, you have LOG, but motion to certify the record of proceedings for September 13th.
I will so move it.
I'll second it.
You.
You're welcome.
Your new digs.
And nice.
Bad, huh?
You guys have to.
Mr. Vero,
Yes.
Mr. Mears.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Motion to approve weekly transfers and appropriations.
Did we do requisition?
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to approve requisitions, sorry.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, on weekly transfers and appropriations, in case you're wondering, and you may not be, we're purchasing, there's a request from our Sebco return to purchase computer equipment. We're allowed to do so. If you're wondering why we're purchasing it from other, because it is just a fund for that rebate, and that's, you don't have all the line items within that specific fund. But other than that, motion to approve weekly transfers and appropriations.
So moved.
And I did talk to Rachel about that. That made sense to me. I'll second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, we have a resignation from a wastewater employee, Ms. Denise Miller, effective October 13th of 2022. Motion to accept, please.
So moved.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears. Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve our quarterly overtime for wastewater employees.
Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Dove working hard. This looks pretty official here. This is the Corson Road Bridge Survey and Design Services contract with the Wallace, what would we say that, Packer Group? Motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Okay, that ends our logistical items. Any questions from the media?
Yeah, what part of the county is that bridge project in?
Perry Township, probably just off of 71, probably 4 miles from Knox County. Approximation.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Ms. Ellington Sorrow?
So is that that a bridge that's currently out or getting built?
Repair.
There,
Or Adam for the exact details of the work. Good. Way too technical, way too smart for me, so. Okay, well, it is 9:53. We will recess and come back in session at 10 o'clock. All right, it is 10 o'clock. We're back in session. Joined by Mr. Hill once again, website by day, power by night. Josh Hicks, our maintenance superintendent, and back sitting in Chuck Minnick's seat, he would not approve of that if he knew, is Pat Dropsy. So they are here to talk about power. Take it away, gentlemen.
So I reached out to Josh to go to with new technology comes things that we need to have added. So I reached out to Josh about having some things added for the power, and he contacted what's Al's last name? Berger with AGB Engineering. Came out, I think. What's that?
AJB.
AGB. What? Not same father.
What?
I said same father. Had him come out. We walked the buildings a little bit. This building, Peoples, and Longview. Sorry. Looking at some of the power that's out there. Basically, he sent us a proposal to kind of engineer some things for us. And Josh is here to ask you guys for money. Am I right?
Well, who approached who first?
And whatever.
That would be the one making me ask. You can't properly ask, Mr. Hill.
I know.
And you notice that? You gotta wait Pat in his office. They're slippery, man.
No, it's all good. But no, Josh hooked us up with Al. And like I said, we walked the buildings, looked at some things. And
So if I'm following you, we had the power outage this summer that were all as a result of the tornado, right?
maybe.
We all remember it because that was a fun time for everyone. And so we found, hey, as we all did with our own homes, right? When the power went out, there's certain improvements you could make to make sure that, you can have additional power capacity during a power outage. So
Right.
be Al coming in and assessing things that we could do to provide additional power.
Correct.
Correct? That's for the media, so they don't think we're trying to slip one by them or anything.
Yeah,
So would that be a summation of what the request?
that's exactly what it is. And just to be honest with you, it probably should have been done long ago, but the technology wasn't in place that's here now when some of the stuff was done.
So you're telling us then that Pat, since you were the ones who went to Josh, that you have the 4,800 in a line item somewhere?
No,
Okay.
no, we did not anticipate a power outage when I filed the budget for IT last year in December.
Josh, your line items are pretty much to the penny, right?
Yeah.
Stacy, we have any contingency?
Yes, sir, you do.
I think we need to do this, right?
This is much needed.
Explain the whole project to me. I don't quite understand how all these pieces fit together.
So
IT, you got generators and you got doors.
yeah, so
Connect those dots if you would.
building loses power. We need to have a way for everything to still lock up remotely.
It's revamping our security
And it's just revamping.
Generator just for security?
No.
Building.
No, but what we want to do is enhance what the generator can do now.
Yeah,
The generator is somewhat, when it was put in, it wasn't put in for
The whole building.
the whole building and it deals with only specific areas of the building right now. And we want to expand it.
Perhaps you can talk to Pat offline so he can explain it a little more in detail.
All right.
I won't get any more detail than what I just did.
yeah, it's kind of hard for us to say anymore. It kind of involves some.
And if anybody for the news media asks, my comment's going to be no comment. I don't comment on.
Long story short, this would just make sure we're enhancing security measures in the building.
Correct.
Well, I'll make a motion that we take the $4,800 or the change, whatever it was,
4897.
out of contingency. Get it done.
And this is for 3 buildings too. It's not one building. So
Okay, I'll second that.
Just the engineering.
this is just the
The
engineering
engineering.
portion of it.
Just the engineer.
Can't wait for what the costs will be with the recommendations.
Hopefully
Hope you pick up a second job.
donate your salary.
Got it covered?
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't,
All right.
I don't have a comment on that one yet.
So we have a motion a second, right?
We do.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Any questions? Okay, we will recess until 10:30.
Thank you.
Okay.
Or started.
All right, we're back in session, 10:30, joined by Kelly Christensen, Human Resources. At this time, I will ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining.
Go move.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Al, no action will be taken after executive session.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, it is 10:59. We are back in session. And HR and Amanda updated us on collective bargaining and they will come back when any necessary action or updates.
Yep.
Seeing no further business, we will adjourn at 10:59.
The ribbon cutting, is that 11?
Noon.
30. Is it noon?
The ribbon cutting's at noon. Timberlands